Okay, welcome back to season 2 of Brittany Ann's So You Said Yes, the do's and don'ts of wedding planning. For those who are avid listeners of season 1, you're probably wondering, where did the last episode of the season go? Well, we had a really busy summer, so kind of dropped the ball on that one. Sorry, guys. But we're back with season 2, and we are super excited. You know, our summer took us to Maryland and Pennsylvania and West Virginia, and we still aren't done this year. We still have a ton of weddings. I'm coordinating one more wedding. I'm planning a baby shower or bridal shower in November. I'm in a wedding in November as well. So we're not done with wedding season, but I wanted to get back on the podcast to continue giving you guys critical information as you start your wedding planning process. So we are back with season 2. I have so many fun guests for you guys this season. Hairstylist, we have makeup artist, a wedding dress designer who I can't tell you who that is yet, but you should be really excited. We have some realtors coming on, a fitness YouTube star who's going to come on here. So season 2 is going to be jam-packed with great content, even better guests. And speaking of guests, I'm super excited to welcome Amanda Vicinelly. She's a professional makeup artist and licensed esthetician. Did I say it right?
Yes,
it's a hard
great.
word. So, you know, I think makeup artists they are the most important vendor on the day of your wedding. And I think this because your face is what gets looked at. Your face is what gets photographed. And I'm always surprised where brides are like pretty cheap when it comes to finding their makeup artist. So we're going to talk with you today about everything from start to finish, from what to look for in a makeup artist, what to look for your wedding makeup. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you so much, Brittany. I'm so excited to be here, and I love the wedding industry, so I'm really excited to be collaborating with you. Yay. And being able to get all this information out to the bride, I think is going to be great. But hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm actually from Masontown, Pennsylvania. And I have 2 children and a husband, and I guess I could count him as my kid too. So I technically have 3 kids.
I have a kid and a husband.
That's right. I also have a German Shepherd, and my family has a huge horse farm. We have 14 horses.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On a horse farm, yeah.
Wait, can I come ride horses?
Totally, yes.
Don't tease me.
Bring a flower wall with a horse, and a bride. Yes.
I see a photo shoot.
Yes.
Brides, reach out to us. We can make this happen.
Oh my gosh, it'd be awesome. We have all different colors too. So blonde ones, red ones, you name
it.
And yeah, so that is a little bit about me personally.
So you, Amanda and I met at a styled shoot. Was that in February?
I think so, yes. It was over the winter.
In February, it was cold. We were at Crystal Line Events. We met there and instantly fell in love with your makeup.
Thank you.
And have been lucky enough to do another style shoot. I have some brides who are booking you for next year. But how did you get into weddings? I mean, you weren't always in weddings, were you?
No, I wasn't. So I actually graduated from Douglas Education Center in 2009 with my esthetician's license. And I love skin. I'm really passionate about skincare. And I actually started my first year of my career as an esthetician with a plastic surgeon.
Oh, wow.
And I was working in the medical spa doing, epilatory treatments like waxing, facials, things like that. And shortly after, a Sephora store was announced to open. So I applied and I got the job, and I grew with the Sephora inside JCPenney Corporation for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was with them. I did have the opportunity to manage a couple different locations throughout the Pittsburgh market. And I met my husband shortly after that. And he
at a
said,
Sephora.
Not at a Sephora. You wouldn't catch him in a Sephora. But I met him on Match.com, which is really cool. Yeah. We met online.
Match, throw us a sponsorship out here.
Yeah, Match. Hook us up. Legitimately, hook us up. So
that should be their new slogan.
Hook us up. So after we met and we got married, he said, hey, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, we can have another baby and you can start your freelance career.
And that's how it started.
So that's how it started.
So babies, we owe your makeup career to babies.
Yes, we do. I've even when I was a little girl, I remember my grandmother said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, it starts with an R. And she said an R, and she couldn't figure it out. And I said, an artist. Oh. So I wasn't a very good speller, but I've always been great at art.
So now you just do freelance?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I 100% freelance. I've gone from only booking 5 to 8 weddings to this year I had over 40 weddings.
That's amazing.
So within 3 years, I've really built an awesome business. I also freelance I'm independently contracted with JL Makeup Studio, and they're out of Pittsburgh, Bridgeville area. They're phenomenal and have been such a pivotal person that I've connected with that has propelled my business. So.
Is that where most of your weddings are, Pittsburgh?
I'd say majority of my weddings, most of my clientele is in the Pittsburgh area, and I'm really looking to come south, closer to home.
And Morgantown is a great area.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not as far than Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And there's a big market here.
There is.
There's only a handful of good makeup artists in this area.
Yes.
So I'm glad to get you connected with some of this.
Yes.
So, but you travel everywhere.
I do. I'm going to the Poconos at the end of the month. I've gone to Erie, Gettysburg. I've traveled all over for my brides.
Do you watch The Office?
No, I don't. My husband does, though. He loves it.
Well, there's an episode where they talk about going to the Poconos, and that's like all I can think about whenever someone says the Poconos. I'm like, oh, The Office. But then again, I could relate anything to The Office. So would you travel, though, like to, say, Florida, say someone to book you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would be more than happy to. It would be a blast.
And I think you're well worth any travel costs
Thank
associated with that. So let's start talking about the process of booking you, because you are pretty booked for 2020. But say, what do you do when a bride inquires about your services?
Yeah. So the best thing to do is visit my website. My website is amandavicinelly.com, and there you can actually find a booking form. And in the booking form, it will ask for your date. It's going to ask a little bit more personal information, but most importantly, your date for availability. So once you reach out to me and I can confirm that your date is available, I send you a questionnaire. And this questionnaire is really critical to building a relationship with you, simply because I get to know your style. So my makeup style, I want you to look like you. I want you to feel like you, but just an enhanced, glamorous version of that. So I don't want to change you. And I think it's really important that my brides see that, and they know that they're in good hands with someone that's going to take care of their skin, that I'm going to be using great quality makeup. All of those things, that's really important that I get that message to my brides. So with that questionnaire, I get to know the colors of your wedding, the dress style, the wedding theme, the flowers. If you have Brittany for your flower wall, I get to know all those things, and that's the first step in the booking process. So once you fill out that questionnaire and get that back to me, I send you a little bit more information. We can start setting up a contract, essentially. So I do require a retainer to book, and then your payment is due in full the day of, and the contract is super easy and simple, but essentially covers allergies. I need to know all of those, good things when it comes to touching your skin.
So, you were talking about using good makeup and make sure it works for your skin. I didn't think about this, but it's important to have those products, because say you're leaving for your honeymoon the next day and you aren't using good products and you break out, and then you're on your honeymoon and not very happy because your skin is reacting to the makeup that was used on your face. So I guess it's really good in that questionnaire to make sure if they have any skin allergies or anything like that. And I guess if you need to get something special for a bride, that gives you time to do so in advance.
Yes. That's also why it's really important to book a trial. So when you have a trial with me, we thoroughly talk about the ingredients that are in my products. As an esthetician, your skin is my number one priority. So if there was anything that I could really make or break your look, it's going to be your skin. So I really like to know those things. Of course, if you have allergies or sensitivities, or if there are any primary concerns, if I could even get you on a regimen that helps clear up your skin prior to the day, that would be awesome. But the trial is really where we find those things out. Watery eyes, that's a huge one. I have so many clients that reach out and say, I want to have my makeup done, I want a full glam look, but they have super watery eyes. So how are we going to alleviate that? How are we going to treat that?
These are things that I never thought about, because I don't do my makeup a ton. I mean, if I'm in a wedding or something like that and I get, don't think about it, and I'm starting to realize I probably don't treat my skin the way I should treat it. I would not want to fill out a questionnaire for you, because you'd be like, all right, Brittany, well, we're starting from this.
Use soap on your skin.
I do, the problem is I use products, but like only when I sporadically buy them. So I don't use anything like on a
consistent
basis. I don't. Like, you know, if someone gives me something, like I'll use it, but I should probably figure out what works for my skin. I kind of just do whatever. I tell myself I'm cleaning it, so it's good, but probably not the way I should be.
For sure. The skin is such a multifaceted concern that I think that we also get overwhelmed with.
Oh my gosh.
The product choices. I mean, how do you decipher what is right for you?
The market right now too is just like super beauty driven. So it's like there's so much out there that it's hard to know like what's good, what isn't good. You know, if a celebrity endorses it, does it mean it's good, or does it just mean the celebrity's being, you know, paid to endorse it?
Yes, they're being paid to endorse it. 90% of the time, it's not great quality ingredients.
Well, I need to go throw out everything in my at my house because it's probably like someone was paid, like a bachelor person was paid. To do it.
I hate to say that, but unfortunately, the manufacturing companies, they just love to put out product, and because we're such a society that wants newer and better and more innovative things, skincare is something that doesn't necessarily change a whole bunch. So to be constantly releasing new products is a little bit questionable to me, because there are tried and true ingredients that don't need to change. You know, and simple is always best in my opinion, and genetics. So your skin is 90% determined by your genetics. So there's only so much I can do topically. And then you have to do the rest internally. You have to take care of it internally too.
What you're eating,
and drinking,
water.
Yes, brides, please hydrate the night before.
Tip number one:
hydrate the night before
as you're taking it, and throughout. I mean, not just the night before, but as you lead up to it.
Absolutely.
So you know, how many brides? Because this is what I told my makeup artist. Say, make me look pretty. Because Amanda's going to do my makeup after this so you guys can see everything. And I'm basically going to say, make me look pretty. But, you know, does that make it harder on you to not have, like, a direction?
Yeah. You know, I don't think it makes it harder, but it's definitely important that I ask a ton of probing questions. So when someone says to me, make me look pretty, my interpretation of that and your interpretation of that can be very different. So I love to suggest that you post or pin pictures on Pinterest. What we have to be a little bit careful with is almost all of the photos are edited. And if you're ever curious if a photo is edited, please just send it to me and I'd be happy to share with you what my thoughts are, because most of the time they're heavily edited. So they're filtering out the skin. We all have pores. If you don't see a pore on a photo, then it is a filtered photo, unfortunately, because we all have them. And so what I like to do is, along with all of the questions that I get answered from the questionnaire, as far as the details of the wedding, I get a little bit more personal information. Like you, Brittany, if you don't wear makeup on a daily basis, if I go full glam on your wedding style, you're going to probably feel overwhelmed. So I really like to ask those questions. Do you like shimmer? Do you like eyeliner? If you use eyeliner, where do you typically place your eyeliner? While I consider those things when creating your look, we definitely will adapt them to make your eye shape a more almond shape. We make your face shape a specific shape. So everything is kind of tied together with your preferences, along with my expertise and vision for your makeup.
And I mean, that's important when you find out what their theme is. But what do you do when you get an inquiry and the bride's like, well, I don't know, I just know I want you for makeup? Does that kind of put a halt on what you're doing, or is it just like delay the final look?
I think it just delays the final look, because we just have to get on the same page. Being on the same page is what is really important. So sending me pictures of what you would like, and then talking about those pictures and what those pictures really require. So a lot of times someone will send me these really bold smoky eyes, but then when we talk about the depth of the smoky eye, it's a lot more than what you were anticipating. So, and the photo, your wedding photos actually take a lot of color away. So it's really important that you understand that you want to have makeup on, because your photo, the lighting is going to subtract a lot of color. So in person, you're going to appear that you have more makeup than typical or usual, but that's totally normal, and you want that for your photos.
And do you work with brides to see who their photographer is? Because as we all know, photographers have different styles. You have moody photographers, light and airy photographers, more natural looking. So that's going to affect what you do on there. Yeah,
totally. So that's part of your questionnaire also. So your photographer style is critical, because if they are very moody and you also really like contoured makeup, you have to understand that contour is going to show up 2 or 3 times darker than what it typically would. So you really want to be conscious of who your photographer is, and your makeup artist should be asking that question for sure.
These are all questions and things I never thought about.
Yeah.
And I, as a coordinator, like, you meet that's probably the person that I'll have the least engagement with as the makeup artist, just because they come in, they do their thing, the bride's worked with them. So, I get to meet them and talk with them and see their beautiful work, but they're with the bride all day, and I'm, running around doing everything. So it's like things that you don't think about because they're critical to the bride herself, but not the wedding itself, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So it's like things I never thought about, and not being a makeup person, I would never even think to be like, okay, well, did you ask your photographer, or ask who the photographer is, to make sure it's not going to affect your wedding look? So thank goodness you do that, because I've literally never once thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the photographers and the makeup artists should communicate that also. I have in the past reached out to the photographer and say, hey, what do you plan on, shooting with this person? Are you going to be in a dark area? Are you going to be more at daylight? I need to really think about and consider this look.
Because there's probably nothing worse than like a bride thinking, she, even if she looks a certain way on her wedding day and she sees it in the mirror, and then she gets her wedding pictures back and hates it.
Very different.
But have you ever had that happen with a bride?
Yes, I've actually had a bride look one way, and I take pictures of all of my clients on the day of, just so I have memory, and I love to, of course, showcase them on my own social media. But I have looked at those photos, and I've looked at their photographer photos, and they're very different. And it makes me question, like, oh my gosh, what detail didn't I get? That has been a part of the growing process and the learning process. So now I've realized how critical that is to ensure that I know that question and that answer.
And some of it might be out of your hand, if the photographer decides to edit it a different way, or, some of these photographers send out their photos to be edited, even though it's to match their style, it could still not be what you're used to seeing and what you think you're doing. I mean, that's crazy. I really would never think about that. And it's really important, you brought up the Pinterest, because it is a great place for ideas and inspiration. But, some of the styled shoots I do are very specific. It's a very specific look. It is a very specific editing that we want. We want to put it out there on Pinterest for inspiration, but it's highly edited. I mean, that's the whole point, is we want to make this look beautiful. But it's the danger you get in with Pinterest is you take this and say, I want my table to look like this. Okay, well, do you know the cost of that? I want my face to look like this. Well, do you know that your face isn't going to look like that unless you have the exact same photographer, the exact same makeup artist? So you got to kind of be careful when you are looking at these pictures, but it's a great place to start, I'm sure, for brides.
Yeah, I think you can agree with using the term their post of inspiration.
Yes.
So whenever someone brings a photo to me, we really, really talk about the smoothness of the skin. I think that's the number one characteristic that I notice most on Pinterest photos, is that the skin is so heavily edited that it looks perfect. And while makeup can do an incredible job at changing someone's skin in some ways, you can't remove texture, and you can't remove fine lines, and you can't remove things from your skin like editing can do on a Pinterest photo.
So speaking of like the fine lines and everything, that goes into your skincare.
Totally.
So as we know, I'm pretty bad with my skincare routine, and I'll look away from you because I'm like, I don't want to tell you. But like, what should brides be doing to prep their skin for their wedding day? And, it extends beyond that, your honeymoon, everyday life. Like, what should brides be doing to make sure they get the look that they want on their wedding day?
Yeah. So during our trials, I really like to talk about your skin, of course. And one of the best services that you can get as a bride is called dermaplaning. So dermaplaning,
that's a word that I've never heard. Dermatology, yes, but now you're saying words.
Dermaplaning, yeah. So
planing.
Planing.
Okay. So what is that?
So dermaplaning is when they essentially take a razor blade of a certain degree, and they smooth it, glide across the skin. They're removing the vellus hair, so the surface layer hair that's on your skin.
And it doesn't hurt?
It doesn't. And it's also exfoliating. So
you're taking a razor blade and it doesn't hurt.
No.
Okay.
That's why you go to an esthetician as a professional. Don't just go to anyone for dermaplaning. But
you might end up with like cuts on your face.
Yes. We're not professional shavers like the men are, but it's very similar. So you just are removing the vellus hair from your skin, and your makeup just lays so beautifully when you get dermaplaning done.
Makes it a lot. Now, when should someone do that? Like, leading up to the wedding?
Yeah, great question. So I recommend the week of.
The week of.
So yeah, so it's nice and fresh, and start getting facials. Even if you're not planning a wedding, facials are such a great thing to have a professional really analyze your skin and give you skincare recommendations. So in your case, where you may be a little bit concerned with what you're using, it's great. We're doing, yes. It's great to see an esthetician so they can give you recommendations based off of your skin type.
See, I'm afraid to go get a facial because when you go to the mall and they give you that product and they put it on your hand and they show you all the dirt that's on your hand.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid to go to someone and they'd be like, oh, your face is gross. Like, I'd rather just hide it and not let someone know. But maybe I should give it a try.
Yeah, I think give it a try. You know how we're always looking in those 3D mirrors and we see all of the blackheads on our nose we're like addicted to the BORA, the pore strips?
Yeah.
Well, I think that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Because,
oh man, I love those strips.
I know,
they're so cool.
But that is sebaceous. It's called sebaceous filament. So what you see around your nose is actually supposed to be there.
Oh.
So and what it does is it protects you from the environment. So your oils, your natural oils, are giving you protection from the sun, the free radicals, environmental protection. So your pores can't shrink. So a lot of times, like, you'll hear products say like, oh, it shrinks your pores. They're not a door. They don't open and close.
They don't. I mean,
they don't. No.
I'm glad that we're on video because like you guys can see my genuine reactions to like all this where I'm like, what?
Yeah, your pores don't open and close. So when someone says like, oh, hot water opens your pores and
I've definitely heard that.
You've heard that, right? So that doesn't actually happen. What does happen is warm water softens your sebum. So when you go to do extractions after you've come out of the shower, they're a lot easier because the sebum is
but we don't want to do
warm.
that.
You can do that, but it's going to come right back. And the reason why it comes right back is because the filament's supposed to be there to protect you from the environment. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind is being blown right now.
There is a difference between that sebaceous filament and blackheads.
Oh, okay.
And blackheads actually have a little bit of a hard surface, and when you extract them, they're the size of your pore. So, and your pore at the bottom, at the root, it can stretch out, and that's when you get like pilar cysts and really fun things like that, like Dr. Pimple Popper has.
Oh yeah, I can't watch those.
I love it.
They
makes me
want
drool.
to throw
I love
up.
it so much.
Oh my god, my sister's obsessed, and like I'm one of those people. It's like I watch it, but I cringe and like want to throw up. But then like I have to turn off when it gets to like be too much. But there, exactly. I mean, she has a whole show for it, so obviously there is there's a market for that.
I am the market.
Gross. So when do you normally do a trial run with brides? Is because I've had brides who are like, I'm doing my trial run and their wedding's in like a month, and I'm like, that sounds risky.
It does. So I personally, now all makeup artists are different. I like to do it within 3 to 6 months prior to a wedding.
Okay.
Because if you do it a year in advance, so much can change in a year. Your whole style can change in a year. I know if I saw myself a year ago, I'd be saying, questioning those choices. And also there are some brides that want to have a spray tan. They want to have their hair done a specific way. So if they are waiting out or holding out for those things, I can accommodate anyone, but I really like to do our trials between 3 and 6 months out.
So speaking of spray tan, do you, if someone is coming to you for a trial and they know they're getting a spray tan, do you like require that they have that, or like suggest that they get their spray tan so you know what you're working with on their face?
It would be really nice if they had their spray tan, because your foundation color is going to change the look of your blush. It's going to change the look of your lip. It's also going to change the look of your eyeshadow shades. So if you don't have your spray tan and we're doing your natural color, your bridal look is going to be very different.
Wow.
And so it's definitely something to consider.
Yeah. So it's like, and one of the key things about my podcast is we talk about timeline.
Yeah.
So it's really important to kind of walk through these things for brides to know, like, okay, I have a lot of brides who are questioning, I don't know if I'm going to do a spray tan. I don't know if I'm not going to do a spray tan, but it's important. Okay, if you do want to do one, do it when you're doing your makeup trial run, so you see exactly how you look on your wedding day. And I know for brides, like they don't want to spend the money and everything like that, but at the end of the day, I try to tell brides, your face is what everyone is looking at. That is what they see when you walk down the aisle. That is what you are seeing in pictures. So I don't know why brides try to save money there, which I get it, weddings are expensive, but that is where your investment should be. And the pre-workup stuff to it. If you want to do a trial run, I mean, that's where it should be. I mean, that's what everyone's looking at. And that's what if you tell someone you want to look pretty, well, it's not cheap to be beautiful on your
Right.
wedding day. So brides, don't be afraid to take that investment. Save elsewhere, because that's something that is really important. And if you want to look a certain way, you got to see if your face looks that way once you do the trial run, especially if you're going to do a spray tan. And you know, sometimes I have brides who will do like the spray tan in the box or whatever, and then they look super orange, or like it's spotty, and really affects the way that they look. So timeline, you know, book your makeup artist early, do your trial run early, and really work through those different parts of your timeline that are going to affect it. Like you said, know your photographer.
Totally.
Yeah.
And along with your photographer, I have partnered with so many, and the number one complaint that I have heard from photographers about their makeup artist is that the makeup is too yellow. So most foundations are utilizing this yellow base, and with a spray tan, they're traditionally they're oxidizing, so they're going to turn a little bit yellow, or orange, I guess you would say is the adjective, and matching your foundation to that. And then when you're standing next to your family who don't have a spray tan, you're really beaming, you're really showing through. So it's critical that your makeup artist is experienced in all skin tones and can match whatever color that your spray tan is. And if she's not matching the exact color to prevent you from being too yellow, is it blending in? Is it cohesive?
Yeah, because then it might put a lot more work on the photographer to edit that out.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that for photographers.
Yeah. Well, and you know, sometimes it might be out of your control if the bride gets a spray tan and you didn't. You know, they end up getting one the day of. Do you chat with brides? How far out from the wedding do you chat with brides about, okay, what changes have happened? Like, what are we doing on your day of?
I like to do a follow-up email about a month before our wedding just to say, hey, you know, how is your skin doing? Have you tried any of the products I recommended? Do you have plans to have your eyebrows waxed? Things like that. If you get your eyebrows waxed too soon, your skin is still healing and your makeup actually won't lay on it. So a lot of times I have had brides come on the day of and they got a wax a day or two before. I recommended about 2 weeks prior to the wedding.
For eyebrow
waxing about 2 weeks. But because of that, they're removing that like little itty bitty first layer of skin. Your makeup won't lay on it. So they have like this one spot that just you can't get makeup on it.
And when I get my eyebrows done, my face always breaks out. I don't know. It reacts to everything, no matter if they put alcohol on it or gel, like it breaks out. So like it definitely needs to happen, and then just touch it up. My eyebrows, don't look at me right now. They need
You're
done.
so beautiful.
No, but they need done.
I'm not judging.
I don't take care of myself. I run too much, and then I like look in the mirror and I'm like, oh gosh, Amanda's coming.
I think the assumption with makeup artists is that we love to do our own makeup, or we're really into our own beauty, and that is so far from the truth.
Yeah, but I'm looking at you right now, and I just keep looking as we're talking, and I'm like,
it's just for right now. It's never like this.
Amanda. I want my hair to look like that. I want to look cute like that.
I just have the tools. I don't use them on myself very frequently.
I feel like I have tools, but I don't know how to use them.
Yeah,
I'll teach you. It's like if someone were to give me like the toolbox to like fix a car, like I'd have them all, but I would not know how to fix it. No. So do you work with the hairdressers too to make sure like it matches like the hair? Because I mean, if you have an updo or like you have your hair down, it kind of changes the look as well.
Totally. I love to partner with a hairstylist. I think that's really critical because you're working in tandem with one another to create your bride's look, and they have to work together. If they don't and it's conflicting, then I would feel terrible. But having that partnership is really crucial. I think that if, for example, the hairstylist is doing an updo that we discussed with the bride, that we're going to be airbrushing her ears, we're going to be airbrushing behind her neck, just because when you get a spray tan or if you naturally tan, the back of your neck doesn't get color, and then you have this updo and you have a tan on your face, but back here is light. That creates more work for the photographer. So
do you like to have the hair done first and then do the makeup? But I mean, on the wedding day, you're doing brides and bridesmaids, so like it's hard. You're gonna have someone whose hair isn't done. But does it matter to you or?
It doesn't matter to me, and I'm one of the most flexible vendors. Other than making sure that everyone gets done on time, I can adjust however I need to. However, the order that I prefer to go in is I love to have mothers done first.
Okay.
When the mothers are done first, that gives them time to run around and do all of those fine details, because we know they love to do that.
And just to get them out of the room.
And
we love mothers, but they get a little stressed.
Yes. So I like to get them done first. And then I put the bride like second to last, kind of in the middle. And I actually like to do her makeup first and then hair, simply because when the photographer comes in and they're taking pictures, while they're taking pictures, she has her makeup already done. And it's not like those awkward non-makeup getting her hair done photos.
Yeah. So tip bride, if you're doing a timeline or if you have a coordinator, make sure that you put makeup first, because I did not get my makeup done first. And there's pictures of me like, granted, my hair is still wet, but I'm like laughing. I'm like, oh, I look like a wet mole rat or something.
You're not going to be posting those or framing them.
No, I never posted. Like, they're fun pictures with my friends, but I'm like, I wish my makeup would have been done. And I usually recommend that the bride go kind of second to last too, because you want that time. Say she ends up hating how she looks. She's in a mood or something. You want time to fix whatever.
Totally.
And I like to have that, I like to give like a 2-hour gap between when things need to be happening to when she wants everything done, because you never know. I mean, she could be like, I hate it. Change this, do that. Absolutely. So it's really important for you guys to think about these things on your day of, brides and bridesmaids, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about just getting ready and drinking and everything to come. They're not thinking about the order. So it's really important, I think, to think about when and where everything's happening.
Totally.
Now, do you ever find out about like the bridesmaids too, like what their skin types are so you to have your everything prepared?
Yep, that's part of my questionnaire also. So my questionnaire, I love to, if you have photos of your bridesmaids, I love to see photos of them. And if you have preferences, if you have one bridesmaid that loves the Instaglam and she wants to go full out Instaglam, but you don't want to feel overshadowed, I love to know those details, because at the end of the day, it's what the bride wants, and whatever you want, it is in my control. So if you have a mother-in-law that is really peculiar and there is one way that she likes her eyeliner, I like to know that. So then that way I'm prepared, but I can tell her I'm prepared, and that's helpful.
Well, and that way you don't get slammed the day of with all these different things that you have to then shift and change and make work. Especially, I mean, there are some, I love all my clients, but the ones with Catholic weddings who have to because there's mass that day and they have to be ready. The ceremony's at 2. I mean, so you're in a very small window to get makeup done and hair done. So like any change can really affect when they're getting ready. I mean, those are tough. When someone's like, oh, 5:30, 4:30, I'm like, yes.
Thank you.
But when they're like 2:30, I'm like, oh, you're getting up early. And I don't think they think about it either, because even though your ceremony say is at 2 or 2:30, I mean, if you're doing pictures before or you're getting transported, I mean, you have to be ready by like 12, if not sooner, for whatever pictures you're trying to do. Which what comes in handy is having a day of coordinator. Do you enjoy having a day of coordinator or a planner on site for weddings that you're doing makeup?
I do. So it just makes it easier. It makes it easier because I know that she has all the details, or you would have all the details. So if I have any questions or last minute concerns, I can reach right out to you and I know what's going on. I mean, there's been times when I don't have a hotel room number. I don't have, the location. Sometimes you change up the location. So I know that the coordinator is going to be my best friend in ensuring that those details are correct.
Yeah. And again, it could slow things down. Say they change the room number and you don't know. It's 30 minutes till you find out. I mean, then you're delayed even further.
And I know that you're always going to answer your phone.
We're like the one person who will answer our phone that day.
So I know that's going to happen. So if I call you, it's
the bride, I mean, even if they're like, oh, well, talk to my bridesmaid. I mean, their phone could be hooked up to the music or their bride could not be looking at it. So one of the really important things is, how long does the makeup last? Does it make it the whole day? What do you recommend brides do to keep it lasting? Do you use a setting spray? Things like that.
Absolutely. So I love to tell my brides that your makeup will last until the next day, but please wash your face the night.
I did not wash my makeup the night of.
I've gotten pictures from my brides the next morning saying, hey, my makeup's done. I'm like, that's great. And wash your face, please. Skincare, remember?
Yes,
but I am, oh my gosh, every day I think I'm researching about new products or about specific ingredients that are going to ensure that longevity. I work with so many different skin types and textures that I have to have multiple products that can adapt to all those skin types and textures. But essentially, I use the best of the best of longevity. So makeup brands that are created specific for going underwater, or something like an antiperspirant for the face, which you may not have known existed.
Did not.
Yeah. So I know a lot of times I get some, like the sweaty ring around the
Yeah.
forehead. I have an antiperspirant that we can use to prevent that from happening.
So I guess you ask brides and bridesmaids too, like, do you sweat easily?
Yes, yeah. Are
Like,
you oily?
Yeah.
You know, all of those questions are really critical in using the products and determining what products I use for the whole day.
So I use Tarte setting spray.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Well, I don't know. I have to read the ingredients, but I can tell you that an alcohol-based setting spray is going to really make your makeup last. So I use Ben Nye's Final Seal.
Okay.
And that's
Never even
like,
heard of it.
it's like a theater. It's a theater brand. Yeah. So a lot of bridal makeup is used in theater because
it's long
the
lasting.
longevity.
Yeah. So I use. I'm gonna have to look up your brand, but I use it when I'm coordinating weddings because the moment I step on site, my makeup needs to be done because I don't have any other time. So I usually have it and spray that Tarte setting spray, and it lasts somehow.
Yeah, that's
even
awesome.
though I'm running around sweating like crazy. But now I'm gonna be like, give me a list of all these theater makeup that I need because I need to upgrade my stuff. I need to get the right things. I need to take care of my skin. We'll talk about that later. So one of the coolest things about being the makeup artist is you're in the room with the girls. So you get to hear all the drama. You get to hear all the conversations. You're kind of like a fly on the wall. So can you tell me any of the crazy stories or drama that you've witnessed? When we don't have to name names. This is an anonymous podcast.
Yeah. I've had some really crazy situations. I've had a groom call the wedding off on the day of.
What?
So that's great. I mean, that's crazy that, I don't know much about the situation. I just know that we were in limbo for quite
Did they
some
end up getting
times.
married?
No, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't end up getting married. I think they're still together, which is great, but they just didn't follow through with the wedding. And yeah, that was bonkers.
Did you ever hear why?
No, I never really got any more information.
Did you still get paid?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to talk about that, and you have to be empathetic to that. Yeah, like there's going to be some situations that come up that you're not prepared to handle, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, what do you do? But maintaining your professionalism, having empathy, and just being there. But it was definitely the wildest experience of my life.
Anything else that reaches that?
I don't know. That one was pretty good. But I will say I've had one of the groomsmen get into a bar fight the night before, and I've had to cover black eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've had to do that, and of course, just like the in-law drama. There's always some good, in-law drama. But
any cat fights between bridesmaids because bridesmaids, it could be people who have been friends for 10 years or people who don't know any awkwardness.
There's a lot of firing of bridesmaids, so sometimes I anticipate having an X number of bridesmaids, and then I'll hear we had a replacement or
got rid of that one.
I try not to ask too many questions, but
I mean, I can only imagine what you hear because
I've heard it all.
I've been a bridesmaid 10, 15 times. I mean, we talk when we're there. We talk drama. We gossip. You talk stories about prior to her finding her significant other and what she used to be like in college. So I'm sure the stories that you hear are quite crazy.
It's fun. But I love it. And I think that's what's really important about our trial time together too, is whether or not I'm going to mix well with you and your group of women. Yeah. Because there have been times where you may just not connect with someone. And if you don't connect, then I want you to feel your absolute best. Yeah. So having me there, I want to ensure that we are building a great relationship and rapport with one another.
Otherwise it's just awkward.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
I mean, you're literally face to
face. Yeah. But I'm here for the bride, whatever she needs.
Yeah. So what other tips can you give the bride? We've talked about skincare. We've talked about doing the trial run. What other tips do you have that are really important for your day of makeup?
Yeah, no eyelash extensions.
Oh, okay.
So eyelash
extensions or what are they called? What do they do? They add them?
Yeah.
What are those called?
Eyelash extensions.
Oh, those are extensions.
Yeah, those are extensions.
Okay, so we're talking about fake eyelashes and eyelash extensions. And I've never done those. That's where they individually place them. Okay, so what do you think about those?
So I'm not a huge fan, and I'll tell you why. So there's two styles of lashes that you can have. You can have the permanent lashes. They're technically semi-permanent, but the lash extensions, which last for an extended period of time, they use individual hairs and use an adhesive to place them on each individual lash.
Basically like a super glue?
Basically like a super glue, yes. Yeah. But that is meant for the eye.
Yeah. Do not go out there getting
Don't use wig glue or hair glue or anything like that to try this at home. But professionals use an adhesive made specifically for the lashes. And then there are temporary lashes, which are like your strip lashes or individual lashes that you can use with a temporary adhesive. And that's what I use. I prefer that on your day of because the eyelashes that I choose are customary to your eye shape. So when I go to do your makeup, I'm not going to utilize an eyelash that's too big for your eye or utilize an eyelash that, let's say, for example, you have a hooded eye and I use something that has a flare on the outer end. It's going to make your eye appear even more closed or smaller. So I want to use an eyelash that is going to be fuller in the middle to open up your eye. If your eyelash artist hasn't customized your lashes and they're not appropriate for your eye shape, it affects my makeup. So I like to have control of that. Let's put it that way. I like to have control of your lash shape.
And you figure out what fake eyelash works for them on their wedding day.
Yes. While we're having our trial, or if we don't have a trial, as I'm talking to you, I've already created my makeup look in my mind talking to you. Yours too, as I talk to you.
As I say, have you figured out what you're going to do with this
I have. But I look at your eyes and I look at where I really want to draw drama and I want the lash to accent your eye.
I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with all this.
It's exciting. Glamorous Brittany.
Guys, and we will have the before and after looks on our Instagram, both the So You Said Yes podcast Instagram page and Brittany Ann's and Amanda's Instagram, so you can see what she did with this blank palette. So how can a bride book you, and what packages do you offer? Is there just like a flat rate, or what do you offer?
So I have a very simple pricing system. You can go on my website to amandavicinelly.com, AmandaVicinelly. I know it's a tricky last name.
It is, but I haven't butchered it yet.
Yeah, you haven't. You've done so good.
There's still time, people. There's still time.
My maiden name is Hunt, H-U-N-T.
So that would have been so much easier.
I know. I went from Hunt to Vicinelli. It's been different. And so you can go there. You can actually check out my pricing. I do special occasion, homecomings, maternity shoots. I offer services for any occasion, and also makeup lessons. So
can we host one here?
Oh my gosh, yes. With mimosas.
Yes,
absolutely.
Guys, we'll do mimosas, and then you can get pictures of flower walls. I can learn how to do makeup.
Yes, that would be
we're
a
doing
blast.
that. All right, people, be on the lookout because there's going to be a makeup tutorial. What do you call it?
Yeah, a class.
Makeup class at the showroom where you can drink, eat, and learn how to do makeup.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
It's a blast.
Because I want to learn all of those. Because I have so much like makeup that I buy, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to contour. I don't know baking. I mean, the only baking I know is cupcakes. So
and
like,
leave it to cupcakes.
Like, I don't know how to
I'm not a baker.
Oh, good. Because I just like, I don't understand it because like it stays on, but then you wipe it off. It's so confusing to me. So
makeup has really become popular since Instagram, and I think what we have to realize is that Instagram makeup has been piggybacked off of drag queen makeup, and drag queen makeup is for theater and for photos. So that's not necessarily your wedding day. So when we talk about things like contouring and baking and those really Instagram forward trends, I actually kind of steer clear of them because I want you to look like you. I don't want to change your appearance like a drag queen can do.
Speaking of not drag queens, but like Instagram, are there a ton of celebrities that people say like, I want to look like that?
Yes.
Who's the biggest?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
And I kind of cringe a little bit. While she's beautiful, I don't think we realize how much makeup she's actually wearing. Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually have some photos of unedited, unfiltered photos of her, and you get to see the layers and layers and layers.
It's probably so thick.
It's so thick, but it looks beautiful on camera.
But if you're on your wedding day, you don't want to look cakey.
You want a good balance.
Yeah.
You want to have makeup so it shows up in the photo, but you also want to look like a person in real life. I think that's important.
So who else? Is there anyone else like popular that people say they want to look like? Or is just Kim Kardashian like the
Kim
good
Kardashian
one?
is like the key
go-to.
Yeah.
Because she's glam, and usually people on their wedding day want to look that glamorous.
Yeah, that's what you associate makeup with, I think. And of course Kylie, everyone. But her eye shape is so unique; it's really hard to mimic her
See,
eye
and people
looks.
probably don't think that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I just want to look like her, but they don't realize that look is that's difficult to achieve.
See, I would say Candace Cameron Bure because I'm
yes.
obsessed with.
She's so beautiful.
One, I'm obsessed with Hallmark movies. Two, she's like on Fuller House, and I just think she's so gorgeous.
But you look similar, so her makeup look would really look for you.
Okay, so we'll look at some Candace Cameron when we get off here. Okay, so now we're gonna do what's my favorite part of the podcast. It's called Brittany Ann's Blitz.
Uh-oh.
So don't look over the computer because what I'm going to do is ask you just a series of questions. They're usually like this or that questions. You'll kind of give your input. You can say the answer along with why that is your answer.
Okay.
Or you can just say the answer.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Cat eye or no eyeliner?
Cat eye or no eyeliner?
Yeah.
Cat eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
See?
Eyeliner man makes it.
But cat eye makes me feel so awkward.
There are so many variations of cat eyes, though. So I could adapt a cat eye to fit your eye.
I feel like maybe it's because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
That when it's on there, I'm like, that looks weird. Yes. It looks like a triangle.
It's all about using negative space. So if you use your concealer to map out, like do the negative space. So map out where you want your line and then look in the mirror straight on and smile. And you can see how...
You're saying a lot of words that don't make sense. Like negative space.
Yeah, there is definitely a technique that we could use.
Makeup tutorial class.
Yes, I would love the cat eye over no eyeliner, absolutely.
Okay, so this doesn't even have to be like makeup, but just like gold or silver.
Gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver, it does not complement skin tones.
Yeah. And
very often.
Do people come in with that like silvery
Everyone
eyeshadow?
comes in with white shimmery eyeshadow.
And you're like, no.
Yeah, no. I love you, and we're not going to use this.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who do have that icy blue, like white wedding type vibe, and that's probably what they come in with.
Yes, and gold looks just as beautiful to complement that.
And do you try to, when you do a trial run, you're like, hey, just let me try this gold?
Yes, I do.
And do they usually love it?
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because we talk about the color wheel. Well, like I legitimately have a color wheel, and we talk about complementary colors. We talk about all the things that would be accents versus being the same. So even though you love blue and you love silver, those might not be the colors that complement your skin tone, your eye color, your eyebrow color, your hair color.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you have to consider.
Man, and that's another thing. If someone changes their hair for the wedding, it's going to change your look. So if they were blonde and then went a little brunette or let their hair grow out a little bit, that's going to affect everything.
Yes.
So, I mean, we could talk for like hours. Smoky eye or a more natural look?
Oh, smoky eye.
Really?
I love me some smoky eyes.
Oh, smoky eye scares me.
I know it does. It's all about the right way, though.
But when people have it on their face, I'm like, that's beautiful. And then it gets on mine, I'm like, oh, that's a lot.
Not so much.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But people look beautiful. And then I'm like, oh, I want that look. They're like, it's smoky eye. And I'm like, what? Yeah.
And it goes to interpretation, too. So, like, my idea of a smoky eye and your idea of a smoky eye are probably a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or, like, when
what's on your eye right now?
I would say, like, a brown smoky eye.
See,
a natural brown smoky eye.
That doesn't look smoky to me. That just looks like pretty.
Yeah, it's the technique,
make me pretty.
I think. Yeah, make me pretty. I think it just goes back to the technique. When you're using those, like, beige grays or those really pretty brown and dark smoke colors, and you're doing a lot of blending, that is a smoky eye.
Oh, okay.
And
see, that's the black. When someone's like has the black eyeshadow, I'm like, oh,
yeah. That's just that's a smoky eye on a level 10.
Okay.
We can do a smoky eye on like a level 3 for you.
Okay, or 2, whatever.
Or none.
Bake or no bake?
No bake.
I know the answer.
Yeah, no baking.
No bake oven. Okay. And we kind of already answered this one too, but fake lashes or eyelash extensions?
Oh, fake lashes.
Okay.
Yeah. For your wedding day. Strip lashes or individuals.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll just add one. Spray tan or no spray tan?
I love a glow.
Yeah.
Do the tan.
Do the tan.
Splurge. There's a brand out there called Rosa self-tanning lotion.
Oh, wait.
Have you ever heard of them? They do like a lot of fitness competitions. Rosa. They're from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Know them. Actually, someone who does their spray tanning, and I have that bottle at my house. I use it when I go to weddings and I don't have time to go to spray tan or want someone to see my body naked.
Yeah.
I do that.
Do you use it?
I do. Yes. I have it.
Okay, so the violet. Have you seen the violet yet?
Wait, there's different stuff?
Yeah, they came out with another formula that has a violet additive, so it looks like you're tan fresh off of the beach. Like, you know, that like red kind
I didn't know that.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
actually coming on the podcast.
Oh, she's amazing.
One
Highly
of my
recommend.
friends who does the spray tans for that is coming on the podcast. She has those products, and our intern Jill, who is behind the camera right now, is going to get a spray tan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I'm not Yeah. My friend's not seeing this naked. She probably has already, but we're not playing that game at 32. Okay, so where can people find you on social media?
You can go to Amanda Vicinelly. You can search my name and Amanda Vicinelli Pro Makeup Artist on Facebook.
Okay, and we will be tagging her and everything so you guys can find her. But now we're going to sign off here because she's going to do my makeup. Woo-hoo! And you guys can see the before and after pics. Hopefully next episode we're going to have a hair artist on here. It just depends on schedules. If not, we'll have some brides on. We have TK the DJ coming on this season. Have you ever worked at a wedding with TK?
I have, yes.
So he's great. And I can't wait for you guys to hear more of this season. And what's great about this season is we're having video. So if you want to see us talking, you want to kind of get to know the person a little more, jump off the podcast or listen to it on there, jump on the Instagram stories, you can see it. And follow along on So You Said Yes podcast on Instagram, because we're going to be posting a lot of videos, a lot of footage, a lot of before and afters, so you can really get to know these vendors instead of just hearing their voices. So thanks for all the listeners. We can't wait for you guys to see what happens on season 2, and we'll see you next episode. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I can't wait to meet you all.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, bye guys.